Hello and welcome back for another rough cut for the Go Creative show. It's been a little while since we did anything on video. It's been all audio, and I'm still looking for that perfect person who will do the actual videography and turn 3 or 4 shows a month into a beautiful visual piece. So if any of you out there are interested in talking about that, do get in touch, info@ornaross.com. But today I'm here to introduce you to the wonderful Sondra Turnbull. Hi, Sondra.
Hello, Orna. It's very nice to be here.
It's really nice to have you here, and I have to tell everybody that this is one of these little kind of creative connections that gets sparked by Twitter and all the wonderful things that we have at our fingertips these days. I am, as most of you know, starting the Creativist Club finally in January, and Sondra very kindly reached out and wanted to volunteer to kind of help in some way, and I definitely need help. And so we've kind of worked out that she's going to help moderate the workspace in the club and the forum where people will kind of connect and get together. So thank you so much for that reach out. I'm really
It's an absolute pleasure. This is what happens when you say the kind things, the good things that occur to you out loud.
Exactly. Somebody nabs you. Says, be kind over here. Come to me. But I know it's because of that thing that happens on the internet and indeed in life, where you kind of attract people who think in a similar way. And of course, it wasn't just a matter of you said, hi, I'll do it, and I said, okay, come on in. We've had lots and lots of conversations where we found out that we kind of come from the same way of looking at life. In the 7 modes that I discussed in an earlier show, it's the creativist mode, even though perhaps that's not quite how you would describe it when you're talking to yourself. So can you tell people a little bit about you, your own creative journey, what got you to here? I know you're an author, and I know you have a lovely website. So talk to people a little bit about your own creative projects.
Okay, so my creative projects are based in the Goddess Kindled universe. That's what I call it. I've come from teaching Reiki and meditation and having a healing practice, and moving through that, I've brought all of that kind of ideology with me into suddenly becoming an author. In April this year, I decided to start writing, and things began unfolding for me then. And it's been a really swift kind of unfolding, as things tend to be for me when they line up just the right way. Everything falls down, and I just follow the falling planks, if you like, and tread my way across and see where it takes me.
Yeah, I think that's really a common experience. I think it's something that, an understanding of the stages of the creative process really helps with. There's this often a sort of an incubation stage that we may or may not be conscious of, but once a firm intention goes out there, once we've made up our minds, what delays us very often, I'm sure you agree, is indecision and not quite knowing, and doubt, and sometimes maybe fears and things like that. But once a firm intention is there and you're aligned behind it, things actually happen very quickly.
I think I'm further along than I ever thought I would be in this particular, in being an author. I call myself, I'm an independent author and publisher. Oh my God, this time last year, that was not the case. And once I'd actually done an outline and played, grown these little seeds of ideas into something that might actually be a novel. And then I realized, oh, it's the first novel of a series of novels. Oh, that's really fun and exciting. Let's see where this goes. How can I do this? I don't know how to do that part of it. Oh, I need to listen to these podcasts or read these books and work out how to do it. And that's just the way that I've spent this year, I suppose.
And were you always a learner by doing?
Yes, I jump in with both feet and learn everything that I need to know or can absorb in order to do the next thing on the path.
I think a lot of indie authors are that kind of person. And just a little tiny bit about the book for those who might be interested to know more about the fiction.
Okay, so I've discovered that I write magical realism. The first book in the series is called Aphary's Earth. The series of books is called Pull of the Tribe. I feel very connected with goddess lore and mythology and finding the magic in every day. Every day has magic in it, and I seem to see it so clearly and feel a little surprised when others don't see it quite as clearly as I do. And so it's a healing journey. Each of the books that in the series is a healing journey based around an element, based around a woman's finding her own way back to personal power.
Wonderful. Sounds fantastic. And so by the sound of pulling in all your knowledge from all sorts of different parts of your working life to date.
Exactly.
So we're talking today, our theme this week, there's always a theme of the week now on ornaross.com and on the Go Creative Show, and everything for the week kind of feeds in around that theme. And this week it's about collaboration, and collaborating not just, you know, for the enjoyment of the actual collaboration, but collaborating with the intention of creative success, which is of course what we're going to be doing as we run the Creativist Club. But talk to me a little bit about your sense of collaboration, your ideas around it, and why you believe it's such a powerful thing.
Well, for me, and I can only speak from my experience of creative endeavors, I find that if I spend all of my time inside my own head trying to unravel threads, they tend to get more tangled more often than not. But if I say things out loud, or if I even just talk things out loud with someone, a partner, more ideas spring up. I discover that, well, that's not actually what I mean, but if I just shift a little bit this way, that's exactly what I mean. And wow, you asked exactly the right question, and isn't that fabulous? And you know how to do this thing that I don't know how to do. We can share that knowledge. And it's all about knowledge sharing and being generous with what you know. And well, that's magic, isn't it?
That's certainly one of the ingredients, that's for sure. And in terms of collaborating around the club, what was it that attracted you to the idea of the Creativist Club?
Well, for example, one of my readers just this week said to me in an email, "I am not creative." And it was said so matter-of-factly and kind of broke my heart just a little bit, because we're all creative every single moment of every single day. And sometimes we just need someone to help us find that little creative thread to feel better about so many other things. It's like pulling the thread on the knot, and it just starts to unravel. And so the Creativist Club felt like a space where people can go to explore how to untangle some of the threads in their lives and, I don't know, weave beautiful things in a supportive environment.
That sounds lovely. I like your weaving metaphor. My metaphors tend to be liquid, water.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, always comes to me whenever I'm thinking about creating anything. It always, I feel it and see it as a flow and as a trickle, or a stream, or a tsunami, or whatever. And people talk about the tsunami of self-published books, and they think that's a bad thing. I think, wait, hey, it's a great thing.
Absolutely. Oh, that's so wonderful. Yeah, I've been seeing things as threads for it's been a few years now. So all of these threads.
It's a lovely, I think it's a lovely metaphor, and it's very female, because, you know, the whole idea of weaving and braiding and plaiting and fabric and all of that, quilting.
It feels soft, and but it's resilient when it needs to be.
exactly how we have to be to open up to creative flow. So it does
Yes,
all kind of fit together. And I know you have a deep sense of a sort of an underlying pattern that supports us when we kind of take a brave creative step.
absolutely. Absolutely. There's no doubt. There's no doubt in my mind. It's all, everything's connected and interwoven, and the vibration I create here is felt all the way over there with you, and oh my God, isn't it wonderful?
Yeah, so I mean, these are some of the kind of underlying principles that will be at play in the club, but all ideas and all ways of looking at conscious creation in all sorts of circumstances are going to be welcome. And I think that's what makes this unique. There are lots of support vehicles like this for people who want to, pursue an artistic pursuit. So like writing or painting or photography or performance or whatever, what we normally label creative. But like you, I know, and now it's proven, we have the brain science that actually shows us that creative is not actually something that's only located in certain kinds of people, or we know now that the lone genius operating, at some kind of superhuman level without anybody around him, always a him, or nearly always a him, is a myth. That collaboration is absolutely key to everything that is created. That creation is happening all the time. We're either conscious of that or we're not conscious of that. And a great deal of it will always, it's a bit like our breath, a great deal of it will always be unconscious, but at any time we can become conscious and we can align ourselves with that flow, just like we can align ourselves with the breath. And that's why I was kind of so delighted when you did reach out, because I think you're bringing it from both sides. You've got, the idea of that, of creativity being something that happens in every moment, consciously or unconsciously. And then you also have this artistic project of immense order, I might say.
Oh, thank you.
Reversing gender stereotypes, tapping back goddess power and all sorts of other wonderful things like that going on. So I think that in that way you're going to understand everybody who comes along to join. Certainly if you haven't directly experienced what they've experienced, you're going to have the empathy to enable them to do what they're going to do. So because this is not just going to be a sort of a talking shop.
No.
This club is actually going to be a doing space. It's certainly going to be a place to talk about ideas, and definitely going to be a place to incubate and germinate ideas, to brainstorm and do all of that. But there are also going to be linked Asana workspaces where people actually put their project out there, set timelines, set up workflows, hold each other accountable and help each other across the line.
Oh, that sounds wonderful.
Yeah, because I think otherwise it's just a chat, isn't it? Yeah, and that was how the whole club came to be, was because I was chatting to somebody in Asana about what Asana can do for large numbers of people. And, people think of Asana, if they know it at all, as being just a task-based, get it done kind of software, but it does so much more than that and can be used.
I've only had a very small amount of experience with Asana. I use it for my tiny little, publishing house, me and my IT guru who does my book cover design and does my sound engineering and what have you. We keep each other accountable through that and track, where things are. But I don't use nearly everything that it offers. It looks really interesting in there, like a space where you can really support each other and as you say, do so much more than just track a task.
Exactly. No, it has immense power. It's a very, very powerful tool, and it's not just the kind of task, tick, tick, tick. It's great for that, and great for, as you say, any kind of shared work. But the hope here is that we're not just going to be talking about making books, making records, making film. All of that will be there, but we'll also be talking about relationships, making good relationships. We'll also be talking about money, and we'll also be talking about all these different kinds of things, and drawing on the wisdom of the group to help each other, and kind of hopping from a sala to a sala. To be perfectly honest, I'm not 100% sure how it's all going to work, but I'm expecting that it's all going to work just fine.
But that's just part of the adventure, Orna.
Absolutely, definitely. And we'll all, you know, there will be a small intake at the start, and we'll get it right by doing it. So much here you just couldn't possibly in advance, but I'm super excited about it. I really can't wait to start. And and so I'm delighted for this opportunity to introduce you to everybody, and thank you for coming along today, Sondra.
It's an absolute pleasure.
We'll be in touch again very soon, and good luck with the writing in between.
Thank you very much.
All right then. Take care.
Okay, bye.
Bye.